different systems in the body, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, your endocrine system. But if you were to ask me what is the most important, if we can use that term, or the system that you need to pay the most attention to as an African, as a Nigerian, as someone living in sub-Saharan Africa, point to the immune system. And I'll tell you why over the course of this program, but it's become extremely, extremely important. Most of us think about the immune system as something that just fights against bacteria and germs and viruses, and to some extent, cancer cells. But its immune system goes a lot further than that. We're going to use these three segments of this episode to really go into it. And probably we're going to go into more in another episode entirely, because there's just so much to be said about the immune system. Think about this. Nigeria is among the top three, among the worst three in Africa when it comes to longevity. Average lifespan is 54 years. That's just 1 year higher than the bottom two. Can't remember who they are again, but Nigeria is top, bottom three. And think about that. This is the lion of Africa, so we have a long way to go. And obviously, it's because of a lot of these infectious diseases. We are having to deal with a lot: malaria, typhoid, the meningitis, the flu here, once in a while Ebola, and a lot. AIDS, of course. A lot of these things are happening in sub-Saharan Africa. So that kind of brings our lifespan down a lot, because we lose a lot of kids in the earlier parts, first 5 years of their lives. And don't forget sickle cell disease. Again, that's related to the immune system as well. So it's really, really important for us to really take a look at the immune system, what weakens it, what strengthens it, and how to improve it. So we're just going to kind of like look at that as much as we possibly can. I'm just going to show you a few things on the board right now. Okay, so looking at the way the body is regulated and controlled, there are three main systems. So remember, we said that there are about 12, but there are three systems that control all the others. The nervous system, which includes the brain; the endocrine system, which is your hormonal system, your testosterone, your insulin, everything like that. So this really regulates a lot of things. And of course, the immune system. And the pattern of control is from the top downwards like this. So this controls this controls this. But here's the thing: the immune system, and about 25% of all the cells in your body are made up of immune cells. This exerts a watchful influence. Let's call it a surveillance. They survey they say we have about 40 trillion cells in our bodies. I don't know who gets the time to count those, but the immune system covers and watches over all these cells in the body. And of course, the cells make up organs and tissues and all that. So this is the brain, these are the kidneys, and these are the lungs, kidneys, heart, and the stomach, the digestive system. So the immune system is like a Voltron. It covers and watches over all the cells in the body, making sure that the cells are healthy and strong and are doing what they need to be doing. If the immune system is strong, and it means if the immune system is doing what it's doing as it should be doing it, the immune system will be quick to detect problems in the cells, the tissues, and the organs. And it will actually, what it does is that it actually takes those signals and returns those signals back to the appropriate authority. So the immune system says, okay, let's say a cell is becoming bad and it's becoming like a cancer cells. The immune system will be the first to catch it. And it will now relay the signals either to the other members of the immune system, but also to the endocrine system and the brain. So in fact, there are times when the brain senses that there's something going on in the body because of the signals that have been sent to it by the immune system, and the brain responds and acts on it. And these are all at the subconscious level. It's not like you are conscious of all these things, but it just happens on the ground. A lot of things happen without you actually knowing it. This all speaks to the complexity of the human body. So the immune system is like a Voltron, defender of the body, defender of the body. So that's what the immune system does. It is in your best interest, therefore, to make sure your immune system is robust, it's strong, it's intelligent, it's able to do the right things at the right time. So that brings us to some of the functions, the other functions of the immune system, and in the slide in front of you, you will see those functions. So again, it deals with harmful germs and bacteria, viruses, fungi, yeast infections, and all those things. It's doing that all the time. It also deals with parasites like malaria. So, but in addition to that, like we've said, it also detects problems in the body, and therefore it is the first to deal with those problems. And in line with this, talking about germs and bacteria, the immune system, so you have a few openings into your body, your mouth, your nostrils, your anus, other parts. Your immune system is present, physically present, everywhere there's an opening into your body. So again, your teeth, your gums, your mouth, your nostrils, and all those things. So again, it's very, very important that your immune system be strong and able to handle those things. So the question now is, what strengthens the immune system? What weakens the immune system? We're going to go into that probably in the last segment. But in the next segment, we're going to be talking about certain conditions and how they are related to the immune system. And you'd be surprised. There are some conditions that are related to the immune system that you would never think that they were. And so, again, this underscores the vital importance of the immune system and how it works. See you soon. Welcome back to Your Health in Your Hands. All right, so we're talking about the immune system. Now, in specific conditions, one of the things that keeps on coming up with when we're working with especially children at the Brain and Body Foundation. Some of you, of course, know what we do. We deal with kids. We call them medically fragile kids, kids that have chronic, especially brain disorders, things like sickle cell disease and all that. But one of the things that kept on coming to me was that sickle cell disease, for instance, parents would say they would take their kids abroad and they wouldn't have any crisis. They would be perfectly okay. But when they bring them back, now they will have these crises. Same thing with kids with chronic asthma. Asthma, of course, is something that affects the lungs, and they say that when they go abroad, they don't have as many asthmatic attacks as they do when they are here. Not just with kids now, I hear that with adults as well. I mean, is it that what's happening? I mean, is it that? Well, I think the theory is that because we're dealing with so many more toxins and infections over here, that our bodies, and in particular our immune systems, are heavily burdened by these things. We're always having to fight one problem or infection or the other. We all are, especially if you've lived in Nigeria for any period length of time. If you are living in Nigeria or in a sub-Saharan country, you're always having to deal with these parasites. These parasites are in your body, and so at times when there's increase in stress, and that could be emotional stress, it could be physical stress, it could be work-related stress, it will seem to overburden your immune system, and therefore that's when things like malaria and typhoid will take over. So this underscores the importance of paying attention to your immune system, understanding what weakens it, understanding what strengthens it. I just want to draw this quick picture here because I want to talk about a specific brain disorder called autism. When I was a medical student many years ago, nobody had heard about, we had a class on autism. And it was basically something that happened in the Western world among white people, and certainly not among black people. And we just glazed over the topic and moved on. But now autism is becoming a major problem in Nigeria and other African countries. So you want to pay attention to it. So one of the things that we know, and you'd be surprised about autism, I'm drawing the brain here. One of the strongest relationships with autism is that when the child is in the mother's womb, there's shall we say, the word is dysfunction. There's a dysregulation. The cells in the immune system, the cells in the mother's immune system end up beginning to attack the child's developing brain. We don't know why that is happening as at this point, and there have been several theories. There are something to do with the genes, something to do with the nervous system, but somewhere in between the first and second trimester, there is something that triggers it. It could be an infection in the mother. that kind of like upregulates and triggers the immune system, and the immune system starts attacking everything in sight, including the brain of the baby and the gut of the baby. And so it happens that way. So again, even things like autism, where you would think it's primarily a brain disorder, you would see that the immune system is playing a role in it. And eventually, even as the child grows up too, it's no longer the mother's immune system. And again, there are different theories. And this autism can happen at different stages. They also found out that the child's own immune system will begin to go haywire and begin to attack its brain. So it just makes sense that when you're dealing with a child with autism, it's not just enough to deal with the therapy. It's not just enough to try and modulate his or her behavior. You also have to take into account the biochemical, physiological undertones that affect the brain, and that includes the immune system. Just to think about this, the brain, we all know the brain is made up of neurons, but did you know the neurons, the nerve cells in the brain, only account for a tenth, some say 1/5, so it's between 10 and 20% of all cells in the brain. All cells in the brain are actually nerve cells. The rest are made up of immune cells. Immune cells about 10 to 20% as well, and there are other kinds of cells in the brain. So if you were dealing with the brain and all you are thinking about is the synapse, the connection and the interaction between two nerve cells, for the most part, you're already dealing with, at best, a quarter of the problem. So it's really important to think about these things from a more holistic, a more 360-degree perspective. Very, very important. All right. So this is the brain. Let's talk about the lungs, and that's here. The immune system deals with the lungs as well. If you notice, many old age diseases, many deaths in old age are because of the failure of the lungs. It's over time. Pneumonia is dealing with chronic pulmonary disorders. Remember, we had a pulmonologist who is a lung specialist come and talk to us recently. So it happens, the immune system plays a huge role in lung disorders as well. And in the condition called asthma, it's especially so. So what we found out is that the immune system is hyperreactive. And when the immune system is hyperreactive, it's sending out signals and sending out chemicals, which cause the passages, the bronchi, the bronchioles, those passages through which air comes into the body, it causes them to be hyperreactive, so they constrict, they tighten, rather than dilate, not allowing air to go through. So when air is not moving like it should, it, of course, causes things like difficulty breathing, difficulty, you lose your breath. And that's especially true when it comes to asthma. So asthma can be triggered by dust, stress, particles in the atmosphere, and all those things. And the immune system, again, when it comes to asthma, is easily triggered, is easily hyperactive, and therefore, if you want to help the child with asthma, yes, they use a lot of steroids, but steroids also can have their side effects. Of course, many times we have no choice. You have to deal with the condition quickly and rapidly, so steroids can help in place. But in between attacks, why don't we strengthen the immune system? And speaking about strengthening the immune system, I have friends, and this is not just about the poor people or the rich people. I have friends who they say every month they come down with malaria. Every month they come down with malaria, and the thing that I first of all think about is, okay, what is going on in their immune system? Can we strengthen their immune system so that they don't come down with malaria? And when it comes to black people, we found out that one key to strengthening the immune system, which we'll probably talk about a little bit more in the next segment, one key is vitamin D3. More about that later. See you soon.
His name is Yusuf Balogun. Yusuf Balogun is very, very happy. Yusuf is about 9 years of age, and Yusuf has HBSS patient. He's already on hydroxyurea, bicopaludrin, and folic acid. Still complains about pains, right? I touch where the pains are.
touch my leg, stomach, my stomach, my head,
Your head,
face.
your face. That's everywhere now. Your chest to go. Finish. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, is that it?
Yes.
All right. No stomach pain? You say your stomach, any chest pain? Any problems breathing? Does there problems breathing? No. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. We'll give them some immune support, and we will move on and see them in a month's time. Yes. All right. Thank you.
My name is Suliat Balogun. The name of my son is Yusuf Balogun. He's 8 years plus. Ever since we've been coming to, before we came here, he has crisis on his leg and his stomach. Before, he's very forgetful. Whatever we've been taking this brain and body foundation, he has really improved on the academical aspects. He has really improved on it. Even the stomach pain I was paining before, that stopped. The leg crisis before, that stopped. So I really appreciate Brain and Body Foundation. God bless you.
Welcome back. All right. In this last segment, we have not much time. I hope you enjoyed that video you saw just a minute ago. But what do we do about strengthening the immune system? And there's this quote I really like. It says that, it's a Turkish proverb. It says, for a horse rider to be able to ride well, he must also learn how to fall. And I'll add well to it. So it's not just enough to know what strengthens the immune system. You have to know what weakens it. And right off the bat, I can really tell you this. We're probably going to do another episode called The Laws of Life and Your Immune System. But before we get to that, we're just going to say a few things. One of the things that you must avoid, well, at least you must know how to deal with, because it's stress. And of course, you cannot avoid stress. The stress is all everywhere, inside and outside. But stress weakens the immune system. Emotional stress, physical stress weakens the immune system. Also, the other thing that you want to think about is your diet and your digestive system. Think about this. I've probably said this many times before, but it bears repetition. 70 to 80% of all your immune cells reside in the gut, in the digestive system. I know that's shocking. I never learned it in medical school, but it's true nonetheless. In addition, the vast majority of your bacteria and viruses and other things also reside in the gut. And there's a lot of symbiosis, a lot of synergy between the bugs in your gut and the immune system. As a matter of fact, there's now a lot of research that shows that the bacteria and the germs help to train, help to educate, help to inform your immune cells as you're growing up, and so it helps to strengthen the overall ability of your body to fend against disease. In the last segment, I was talking about vitamin D3, and I just want to hop on that a little bit. Your vitamin D3. And I'm going to talk about the gut again some more. Vitamin D3 is super important. It's not just for your bones. We used to think it was just for the bones. Vitamin D3 is important for all kinds of things, including your cardiovascular system, including your immune system. And they found out that many times when people have repeated infections, their immune systems are not strong, especially if you're a black person living in Africa. It's because you are not getting enough vitamin D. Now, the challenge is that testing your vitamin D status is not the easiest thing in the world. It's not cheap at all. In one lab I checked in here in Abuja, it's going for 25,000 naira. That's a whole month's salary for many people. And so it's not always a very readily available thing. But if you think about it, we are black people, we have black skin. Most of us stay in air-conditioned places. Even if we don't, we're not outside in the open. And you have to be exposed. Your body has to be exposed to sunlight, ample amounts of sunlight for at least an hour. So how many people do you know go around bare-chested for an hour in the sun? Very few. So there's a growing amount of evidence that people with dark skin anywhere in the world have reduced vitamin D. And if they have reduced vitamin D, it means that their immune system will be affected in some way or the other. Guarantee. Don't take my word for it. Go online, check with your doctors, your physicians. So it just makes sense to supplement with vitamin D3 if you can't go out in the sun. The other thing, of course, like we've alluded to, is your gut. You really have to pay more attention to your gut. If your immune system is the most important system to pay attention to, and 70 to 80% of your immune system resides in the digestive system, then it only makes sense to understand how to ensure that your digestive system is healthy and strong. In other words, all the things that you know about. You can't be putting too much sugar in your system. You can't be taking on toxins. You want to reduce your alcohol intake. You want to eat later. Don't eat at night all the time. You want to avoid stress. You want to eat a lot of fiber and healthy vegetables. More vegetables than fruits. More vegetables than fruits. Even for children with sickle cell disease, we see that happening over and over again, that if they take more veggies, they are less likely to have crisis. There's a lot to be said, and we will talk about this later on. But again, I hope I've been able to impress upon you the importance of having a strong, robust, intelligent immune system. If you have any questions, always be sure to check in on our site. You can go to the NTA site, of course, Brain and Body Foundation. Our Facebook page is there for you, so is our website. Again, it's been a pleasure talking with you guys. Be sure to tune in every week. We're on 4 times a week. So God bless, and see you next time.
NTA, you can't beat the rich. Man is created to be able to make choices in life. The choices we make as Homo sapiens makes man either rational or an irrational being. Based on his choices, he is expected to be responsible for the totality of his actions and inactions. A man's lifestyle is the interest, opinions, behaviors and behavioral orientations of the individual, group or culture. Life is full of choices, good or bad, white or black. The various choices we make as individuals will one day catch up with us. One of those choices we make in life relates to our health. After all, it is often said, health is wealth. It suffices that our health is important and should be precious to us. However, some of our choices in life as individuals responsible for our various ways of life leaves much to be desired. While a healthy lifestyle will help promote physical fitness and leaves us energetic and at reduced risk for diseases, based on the choices we make in our daily habits, an unhealthy lifestyle exposes us to avoidable risk of varying degrees of dangers, some controllable and some fatal.
Your lifestyle can affect your health in several ways. If you're a smoker, be prepared to die early. If you're a drunkard, your liver is at stake. So if you live a good lifestyle, there's every tendency that you would live longer.
Kind of food you eat, like proteinous foods, which are very, very good for our health. Not that alone, you take in good water, to flushing and to make your food digest easily.
We must be able to consider physical fitness, because people who do not, indulge in exercises, daily exercises, they most times have their life being, hampered. So on daily basis, we must be able to form the habit of, doing exercises, or one way or the other have ourselves, doing physical fitness exercises.
When you live your life, you need to balance up. You don't need to overstress and overwork yourself. Yes, you should work, but you should know the balance between work and rest, so you don't break down at a point and then you just get very useless.
What we consume, eat, drink or smoke goes a long way in determining the status of our health in the long run.
The most common for us, and I think I should start with that, is unnecessary sugar. Instead of doing that, why not opt for a healthy option like your fruit juice, freshly made, which you're sure contains nutrients. Too much alcohol is not good for the body. A cigarette already said that already. And then fats, they have saturated fats. Saturated fats are totally bad for us.
Good nutrition, daily exercise and adequate sleep are foundations for continuing good health. As important and simplistic these seems, it requires great discipline for anyone to maintain a healthy lifestyle which helps improve our general well-being.
If you are self-read, if you take your body seriously enough to be able to research by yourself, I don't think it will cost you anything. Because if you think your body is important enough and you read up on what to do at the right time and how to handle your body, it wouldn't cost you anything. But if you feel like, oh, you're too busy doing, because there's something I respect professionalism. There are some people, like I said, I'm a lifestyle doctor. This is my work. This is where I am focused on. So if you think you're too busy focusing on your own profession, that you wouldn't have the time to do that, then it would cost you something to be able to get my service. But if you really take your body seriously, it shouldn't cost you anything to read up on things to do to make yourself a better person.
Eating the right food, fruits, vegetables, stress management, and a regular medical checkup can help us to maintain a perfect or near perfect healthy living. Unfortunately, it's been discovered that most people are complacent about their lifestyle habits, and so they do the opposite of what ordinarily should help them promote and sustain a good healthy living.
Unhealthy lifestyle is actually life-threatening. It is life-threatening. Beyond the fact that it might cost your life, I think you should actually think about, a lot of people, nobody wants to die really. People want to live long. But if you want to live long, quote and unquote, how do you want to see yourself when you are like 80? Do you want to be a burden on people? Do you want to be healthy enough? Do you want to be strong enough to function properly? Because actually living a healthy lifestyle is like an investment. Most people that are sad, depressed, if you check, their lifestyles are not in order. If you follow all the 6 headings, from the nutrition to exercise to tobacco and alcohol consumption to stress management to proper sleeping and having healthy relationships, if these lifestyles, if they are well balanced, I can assure you won't have people committing suicide. So like the toll on the body, the list is endless.
In general, as rational human beings, you are responsible for the consequences of your actions and inactions. Why won't you choose to live a healthy lifestyle that will not predispose you to fatal consequences in life? The choice is yours.